What's up, YouTube? Team APS are back at it again with a new video. We're ranking the best TCG exclusive archetypes.
What are they exactly? They're archetypes that actually release not in Japan, but rather in the TCG territories. That is, America, Canada, Mexico, Europe. And what makes them so special is that they get to explore different themes and playstyles that weren't planned to be in the game at first.
Japan may not even see these cards for months.
Yeah, years at times. So the first deck is actually FAs.
Yep. Fast athletes.
Formula
athletes?
Okay.
Effing athletes.
They are low-level machine type monsters?
Yeah, they're like wind machines.
And every turn they gain a level. And once they hit a certain number of levels, they can get effects.
Yeah, they gain 300 attack for each level, so generally I think they'll start at 900 or 1200 attack. I think most of them are level 4, so 1200 attack. And through the use of their field spells and quick play spells, they're actually able to increase their levels temporarily, which can get them to their stronger effects. Like one of them stops the opponent from searching, or has a Dark Law effect, or whatever. It's pretty cool.
They're very they can really control the game if they can get there. That's a big if.
They even have a Synchro monster now.
Yeah, and a tuner.
Their boss.
Yeah.
Which is really easy to use. Also multiple field spells, which is not a first because Tremids did that.
Yeah.
But it's still cool.
At least Tremids gave you a way to actually kind of move through your different field spells.
These guys are limited in that even though they have multiple field spells,
it's kind of hard to get through them.
Yeah, you have to wait for your opponent to either destroy them or you.
Well, there is that new spell. There's a new spell that can kind of destroy them for you, so it's not bad.
Yeah, so, are you saying that the FA can move faster? Number 8 is Vedred. Like FA, they are a new deck with the ritual zombie theme.
Right, and it's cool because they're actually based off of, is it Resident Evil or Spawn?
A little bit of both, mostly Spawn in my opinion.
Yeah, so it's a ritual zombie deck like you said, and that's really new because it's not really something that's happened before. As of the time of recording this video, we actually don't know what support they're getting in Extreme Force.
We are desperately waiting.
So it might be released a day or two after this goes up, but
yeah, it could go from being number 8 in this list all the way to number 1.
Yeah, and speaking of that, it does have a handful of weaknesses. What are the weaknesses? You play it, so.
FA, Vedred.
Both.
They have some consistency issues. While they have access to pre-prep, which helps them kind of speed up their game, they only have the one ritual spell. And
no in-archetype way to search it.
Yeah, no in-archetype way to search it.
Getting the monsters out in the field is kind of hard because they give your rituals power-up effects, but if you can't tribute them off the field, then that doesn't happen, and getting them on the field is kind of tough.
It's a bit of a stretch.
And their traps suck.
Number 7 is UA. These are the Ultra Athletes. They're not like FA.
Yeah, they're finished.
They're actually nothing like FA.
Tell us a little bit about UA. You played them.
Yeah. Okay. So UA, they use a new style at the time. They would switch between offense and defense kind of seamlessly by basically by bouncing into your hand, especially another one.
Oh, these sound a lot like Glad Beasts.
The archetypes they just played out the hand, and they didn't have to attack to do it.
What was cool is in your turn they had the offensive ones. Things like I guess the Slugger or whatever.
Yeah, Slugger.
Was it Perfect
Dunker.
Ace? I think Ace was a defensive one.
Yeah, Ace
Dreadnought
was a
Dunker.
one.
And the defensive ones were like Perfect Ace.
You have the goalkeeper. I can't remember.
A Blockbacker.
Blockbacker.
Hated both of them, honestly. They're really annoying. And this deck was actually pretty consistent at the time.
Yeah.
I hate that
we had
Triple
Rhoda, we had their Stratos, and we had their own on-theme Rhoda.
It was like Powered Jersey, I think, and something else.
Yeah, the Equip card.
So they actually became a pretty good archetype and also a very cheap one. And it sort of continued, or started, I guess, the trend of monsters that kind of bounce back and forth. There's a spoiler later archetype on this list that does this playstyle a little bit better, but yeah, that's UA's.
Our next archetype is Subterra.
Subterra is one of my favorites. I actually played it for a while.
Yes, he did.
It's the flip effect deck.
Yeah, flip effect deck, high level monsters. The monsters you just kind of want to set them and get their flip effects to accrue advantage.
And that's kind of there and where the problem lies, I guess. They're high-level monsters, which means that they can get a little bit bricky in your hand, and
a lot bricky.
Getting them all out in the field is kind of tough. And then there's also just, it's a flip effect deck, so it's slow, kind of clunky.
They had an interesting theme though with the behemoths and the Nemesi?
Yeah.
Whatever.
And that's actually kind of a good point because it shows how the TCG exclusives really explore these things. You've got like this set of monsters and then the nemesis or the humans that fight them. Some other TCG exclusive archetypes have explored this, and even Ritual Beasts too. I think that's actually really cool.
I just always thought it was weird that you had a deck that's supposed to work together, but it's composed of two antagonistic groups.
Reminds me of like Attack on Titan.
It's a little odd. No, I won't lie to you.
But yeah, that's basically Subterra in a nutshell. They are supposed to be getting Guru, one more new support card that kind of speeds the deck up a bit, so hopefully that maybe will change its spot on this list.
Alright, next we have number 5, which is Noble Knights.
Yeah, you play them.
Yeah, they're a favorite of mine. They actually were the TCG exclusive that really kind of let people know what TCG exclusives could be. It was a deck that was all around Arthurian legends, the King Arthur and the Round Table.
You mean Artorigus?
Artorigus, whatever.
Yeah, best
Say it right.
artwork archetype in the game.
Yes,
I don't think
the
anyone can
monsters
deny.
were beautiful. The swords were just amazing.
And it made equip spells. It's kind of gave it its first like archetype based on equip spells.
Yeah, they actually made them relevant.
Before that, equip spells really just weren't anything.
There was never like a consistent way to like use them. I mean, you'd seen like some stuff in the past, but
So it was funny that I believe Noble Knights came out around the same time as UA, right?
that was a little bit later, I think.
A little bit later? Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was funny that these two TCG archetypes were some of the first ones that actually used equip spells to some effect.
However, Noble Knights equip spells were in an entirely different league.
Yeah, class of their own.
They, when you destroyed them, they could re-equip to an available monster.
And they had some very annoying effects. You know, not being destroyed, not being targeted, gaining attack, and like all these different things. And when monsters got equipped with multiple ones, it was so hard to deal with it because, oh, I destroyed the field or the equip spells, they re-equip. I can't destroy the monster because I can't target it or whatever. And just
And the Xyz monsters would go ahead and just scoop them out the grave and equip to them. So
it did have a fatal flaw though, and it's spoiler later on this list. But yeah, sometimes when the Artorigus or whatever did get outed, the deck kind of found itself lost. So.
Yeah, and then by filling up your boss monster with equip spells, you had no room for back row.
So.
And speaking of the Achilles heel of this deck, next up is Kaiju.
Yeah, the one in this list that's actually the least played as a deck, and
But
most played as a tech.
Yeah, I think it's the one that's most and least played.
Yeah, that's
I
a
guess-
better way to put it.
Well, least played as a main deck, most played in the side deck.
Yeah,
So Kaiju, you know, they're based off Kaiju from Japan, you know, Godzilla and all those other monsters.
yeah, they're all about battling each other. So if you're actually running the archetype as it's meant to be, you're attributing your opponent's monsters to put a Kaiju in their field, then you're summoning a Kaiju to your field, and they actually have effects like that can negate stuff and things like that. At least Nemesis can, I believe.
Yeah, I guess the idea is so that to make sure you can always run over the one you give your opponent.
Yeah. And they had like powerful cards. Interrupted Slumber is really strong.
Oh, don't we know?
And like even the Kaiju
yeah.
files and like Kyoto Waterfront. The thing is, the deck is just awkward to play.
Yeah, because it doesn't allow you to summon more than one Kaiju on your side of the field at one time.
It relies so much on your opponent.
Yeah, and funny enough, just ended up being a better out because you can just, it kind of creeps Lava Golem and Volcanic Queen.
Yeah,
And Santa Claus.
it takes those problematic monsters right off the board.
So it really was just good to put Gemusil in your deck and get rid of Masterpiece or Noble Knight Artorigus. You know.
I liked Santa Claus.
So he's.
I'm gonna
salty.
derail this whole video now.
Number 3 is Spirals because we all love this deck so much.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Spy, not the dragon. No.
Yeah.
But I mean, Spirals did an amazing thing. They topped a format.
Yeah, and they're kind of like the James Bond Metal Gear Solid deck. Super Agent is kind of what it's all about.
Do we really need to talk about this deck?
Okay, to give it its fair due, before Double Helix and the whole like Link Monster BS came out, Spirals are a very cool concept and a very fun deck to play, I think.
True.
Yeah, they had their Spiral Super Agent, which runs around. They had their Spiral Gears,
And their
Spiral
rescues.
Missiles.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, Agent had to be able to guess the top card of your deck, right?
Yeah.
And you could use the other cards to look at your opponent's top cards.
Drone.
And then that way you could always proc your Agent's effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
However,
Then Double Helix came out and things got really bad.
It wasn't even about that anymore.
Nuts.
Yeah, and so it does kind of suck because there are always those Spiral players who will be like, I liked this deck for what it is, and now like it's meta.
It's been ruined by the
It's
meta.
Firewall.
But for all we know, maybe in like a month, this wouldn't be on this at this point on the list. So yeah, that's
Next
all for
deck.
Spirals.
And it's actually a little surprising it's not number 1, but that's not my call.
Next deck as number 2 is Cosmo.
I saw The Last Jedi recently.
And I bet he never saw Wizard of Oz.
I have
That's
seen
right.
The Wizard of Oz.
Oh!
I've seen them both. I can
That's
talk about
right.
this now.
Cosmo is a combination of Wizard of Oz and Star Wars.
And that's kind of, I think, what makes it the coolest on this list. Even though it's not number 1, I think it's the coolest.
It was the most
Conceptually.
inspired, I'd
Being
say.
a mashup of two different things. And hey, it comes out really well. Card artwork is great. And it even pushed
Ginsuman,
the
please
meta
make us a map.
envelope. What?
Nothing. You'll know if he saw it. So, anyway, yeah, but it's like we were mentioning earlier, it kind of follows the trend of like there's the pilots and the ships, and the pilots can run and get the ships, which is really cool.
It would just
ships
trade
were-
out the hand.
The ships were always bigger than the pilots, and the ships could have some nasty abilities.
Yeah, not being targetable like Dark Destroyer and popping and floating and it's a very annoying deck for a long time.
The problem with Cosmos was that float.
Yeah, and so they were really tough to deal with. If nothing else, I mean, I think that it also lasted a pretty long time. People still use them today.
They're kind of a time-honored little gimmick. All you really need in that deck is to summon a pilot. Once you've summoned your pilot, you're ready.
You're generally okay, and Cosmo Town gave you a mulligan, so it kind of didn't matter.
And then they made Tin Can, who just kind of sped everything up.
He just gave it all to you for free.
Yeah, you
So-
want to negate and destroy that tin can quick.
Let's mention, and one thing I want to mention is they got their Trap Cosmojo.
The non-targeting Vanish.
Just like, that card is dumb.
Number 1 is
You already know.
Burning Abyss.
Yep.
The evil, the darkness, Dante's
Inferno.
Travels. So yeah, Burning Abyss is number 1, and I think it's a pretty cool TCG exclusive archetype, but it really wins the spot for being meta relevant for so long, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it was-
all of us were sick of VA at one point or another.
And I feel like everyone's had to play it at some point, you know?
Yeah, that's you've either faced it or tried it out, or even
I
tanked
never.
Dante.
Oh Lord, I took Dante.
See,
The thing is, okay, this deck came out like late, kind of mid to late 2014, and it lasted until like, I mean, maybe like 2016, 17, and even now there's like a Link monster that might make it good again. It's topped here and there.
Multiple ban lists have tried to
Hit this deck.
and it just keeps coming back.
Can we talk about how Dante likes to let like the ladies take the hits for him? He got Tour Guide limited. He got Beatrice limited. He got Scarm limited, although I don't.
I'm
know
not
that-
sure. When you start talking about demons, I don't think gender's
Wrath.
much of a thing.
One of them.
Let's not bring a PC incident to this.
But the point is, I mean, the concept was neat. It's based on the Inferno. It's a cool piece of literature. It follows like the whole Noble Knight kind of trend, I'd say. And this deck floats,
It floats hard.
and then it floats some more.
It didn't punish you for ever trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, so don't try to beat it. Just lose.
Yeah.
Very annoying to face.
BA was really cool because it was able to take advantage of some really powerful cards that were seen to be a bit too detrimental to be run. Like
Lots of traps. Karma Cut.
Karma Cut.
Raigeki Break. Phoenix
Right.
Wing.
Yeah, because unlike Dark World, they'll get their effects on their pitch from hand.
Yeah, no matter what happened, you were getting searches and floats and specials and all that stuff. So, BA wins number 1.
For sure.
Mostly because sometimes when someone saw a BA deck, they hit surrender instantly.
Online. That was the best. So yeah, that concludes our sort of the best TCG exclusives ranked in our opinions. Obviously, this will change a little bit for each person.
And I'm sure plenty of you disagree.
That's where the comments come.
I know most of you hate the fact that UA was so high. I agree personally.
Let's talk about that in the comments.
Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm wondering, like, what's the next TCG exclusive going to be? Will Vedred and FA, rise up?
Don't
Will they take
climb
the top?
on up.
Yeah, so just talk about it in the comments. It'll be fun. So remember, thumbs if you like the video.
That's right. Drop a comment if you agree or disagree.
And don't forget to hit that notification bell if you're a new viewer.
Yes, we make Yu-Gi-Oh videos like this all the time. It's gonna be it. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Pass turn.